Hello, welcome to Lore Master's Lair. I'm your Lore Master, here today for Halloween Day and one final look at a fearful deity this month. However, today's goal is not a devil like the other entries this month, but instead a demon lord. And surprise, today is a Starfinder video, the only full write-up of a deity outside the main 20 it had during 1E, Shivaska. Let's get started. As always, we start off where you can find information on Shivaska yourself. The best way to bind oneself to her is through the Two Gods of Magic book as well as Divine Mysteries, but since she's only a demon lord, those entries might be a little bit scarce. You're more likely going to want to look at the Book of the Damned, where she and her fellow demon lords get more prominence. As for the full write-up, that is locked away in the back of Starfinder's Mechageddon Adventure Path. As for side tangents, those are found in two Starfinder Adventure Paths, Fly Free or Die and Horizons of the Vast, as well as Alien Archives 2 and The Malevolence Adventure. Shivaska is a nightmare in multiple senses of the world. While a demon lord, various ways people bind themselves and others in imprisonment, she and her cult have special interest in workhouses, orphanages, and boarding schools, taking special delight in subjugating children into cruel labor. But again, anyone will do. But she also has been spread among the innocent as a source of fear. You know the old, if you misbehave, some monster or another will come and get you. These are actually prayers to Shivaska, and each time a parent threatens their children so, the hands of the Chain Maiden's clocks tick down one more second. During the time of Pathfinder, she appeared as a cloaker wrapped in chains. However, the choker was not her main body, the chains are. And she has in the past taken the form of several other aberrations, including Chul, Delgrefs, Grimslack, and even Spirit Naga. And various temples made at various times of the past still hold these depictions of her. Throughout Shivaska's worship is the imagery of clocks, specifically ones with 13 hours, found both in her divine realm and in various strange devices on various worlds. The clocks all count down to catastrophe, showing approaching time when the world will end. Of course, these clocks do not move in normal rotation, so the slow grinding of the gears never truly betrays when the next world-ending event will happen. Which brings us to our first side tangent, the part of the show where doom is coming closer every day. Please send help. In this case, we'll be looking at another harbinger of apocalyptic events, the Ashen Man. Little is known about this Hundun at this point, though our current adventure path might point out a few clues. But what we do know at this point is that the Ashen Man is in league with the outer god Naliahotep, and likes watching apocalypses come into play. Emphasis on watch. He rarely puts his hands on a scale, instead preferring mortals bring about their own demise. Shivaska's realm is a wilderness known as the Winding Woods, in the center of which is the Ticking House. The Ticking House is a large workhouse with a clock face showing 13 hours. The clock at one time was kept running by the toil of abducted children, and legend tells about a second secret clock which ran backwards, carrying down to the near extinction event. Of course, that was all Pathfinder lore. As times went on, she found less and less people who were willing to bind themselves to her worship. Her cult sank low on Galarian and all other worlds she touched, and she languished through the entire gap until the era of Starfinder, her doomsday clocks ever ticking down, but existing Existing and thriving are two different things. But then, as she was observing the universe, a new reality appeared before her. She witnessed mortals being willing to bind themselves to toil at endless hours, all under the idea they would be rewarded in the end. Seeing the rise of unfair work practices, pyramid schemes, and untold numbers of people willing to literally buy anything, she decided to go to business school and reinvent herself. She came back a new woman, now adding unsatisfied desires to her portfolio of Demon Lord. She now acts as an angel investor to pyramid schemes, real estate, and cryptocurrency, slowly having people work their own grind set to crush those lower on the company ladder, before they themselves are crushed. And the beauty of it is how little she has to do, as she sits back and watches mortals shackle themselves. New age, new look, and now when she takes a form, out and about on business ventures, she takes the form of an experienced businesswoman, usually a member of the dominant ancestry of the planet, would be the best way to phrase it. Though change still remains a constant, even if hidden. In her home, she still takes on an aberrant form, the current one being a scatoil, which brings us to our second side tangent. What is our scatoil to begin with? These are creatures who travel through the darkness of space, who can be seen in the ghost levels of Absalom Station, in the Dysphoria, and even the Drift itself. They are thought trainers, and they work to feel their targets of fear before striking and draining all positive thoughts, leaving them a husk of despair. Those places plagued by these creatures counteract them by constantly surrounding themselves in bright light. Those creatures still wait just beyond the light's edge, waiting for a chance to feed off the careless. Shivaska's new worshippers are investments. She placing them in her debt, while they pass the debt along the line in hopes that their debt never comes due. But it always does. And the tech bros are nowhere near as smart as they think they are, which in turn the followers are first to pay back by working in the factory. Likely her updated divine realm, which has evolved as the factories have evolved on the material plane. Of course, the crushing work has not changed, nor the fact that those who work are forced to spend what little they make to fulfill necessities of life, while little actually goes to pay their debts. For the example we have of a temple of Shivaska, it seems to be just a regular business building, though with various things of note, including elevators not going to the upper floors, workers having their time left to pay their debts as taking clocks on their desks, and the break room being sleeping pods, which both need to be paid to be used, and they transfer part of the sleepers' memories and souls into Hype EF batteries to power Shivaska's realm. Which, while we are in the business of business, let's take time to look at Side Tangent 3, one of the premier businesses in the universe, the Tetrad. More of a trade union than a corporation, though which weird-owned business had a seemingly limitless amount of credits from no known source. But what is known is that they have a taste for both the strange and the spicy when it comes to food, and those who look too close into them seem to lose the memory of ever trying. Now on to other information. We do not have a holy text or holidays, and I do not think the faith believes in holidays. But Starfinder deity staff blocks give us place of worship. We have the two large business plans of Apostate and Versus. We also have the Vascarium, specifically mentions of colony resorts, because timeshares. And we have online forums, specifically financial advisory communities. Now finally, relationships. This is an unusual one because we have nothing with relationships with other deities, not even any other demon lords. But unusual outside of Pathfinder write-ups of main deities, we have two allies. First is Passion, a drow who was a mole who became a star. So she signed up with Shivaska. She grafted demon parts onto her body and released 6 smash studio albums. I do not think there was anyone else in existence who succeeded in being able to pay Shivaska back, but you become a divine ally for a reason. But not Harold. That spot is for Skew, her pet squawk. Because who would ever think a cute little creature like that would ever lead them astray? Which is a perfect place to end it off today with Side Tangent 4. Squawks. Called Valkarki on their homeworld of Castrovel, these creatures are named by humans for their resemblance to a cross between a squirrel and a fox. One of the most intelligent animals in the Pact Worlds, their cuteness and ability to adapt to all environments have led to them becoming our favorite pet, especially with how safe they are around children. Though they are smart enough to steal and clean up after themselves when doing so keep one eye on them at all times. Which brings us to the end of today's video, as well as our month of fiendish deities, as well as catching us up with full write-ups of deities of Starfinder. Hope we get more of those in 2nd edition. But either way, we return to our regular schedule and planet next week with another trip to Tianxi. I hope to see you all then.